Hello, 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 hello. Haya basi, I'd like to formally welcome everybody, yani kila mtu, to my first premiere episode of the Source podcast by myself, the Source, the son of the sun. I've been wanting to do this podcast for a while. Okay, technically it's a monocast now because I'm starting alone, but you always have to start. That's the most important thing. But I've been wanting to do this podcast for a while, mainly for the purposes of not really creating a safe space, as they say, but just creating a dangerous space. Yeah, not a safe space where like we people or like my age mates, my peers, my friends, we can just talk without having to really, you can just talk objectively more so without having to really personalize things so much, such as it is being done nowadays, where people have become so sensitive such that we can't really have proper, what do they call it, discourse. Cannot have discourse. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons. But other reasons is just, I thought this is a good way of having like mental footnotes on a personal level, and just a way of like, just documenting my experience and sharing, and talking and finding a way to like talk to people and just interact and all. So I shall introduce myself first. My name is Nabiswa Wanyama, a producer named Son of the Sun. I was once called Frank, but things changed. I am I'm born again. The Lord is my personal savior. I'm black and I'm proud. I don't think I can say much about myself, but as we progress in this whatever, you shall get to understand my thoughts, my thinking, and we shall get to just share, man, because all I'm interested on is challenging just the status quo and helping each other think outside the box and be able to find rational ways to think. Because I think, I think that who's that? Then my neighbor can hear something move. But I think that we as a people need to find a way or to talk and have conversations on how to live, like the way in them days there were philosophers who gave their 2 cents on how they think like the human thought process is and how best we should apply it to our lives and things like that. Kwa wale wanaelewa Kiswahili pekee najua mmelemewa, lakini such is life. You have to multitask. Both English and Kiswahili came from, where historically they didn't come from sources who voluntarily gave us these languages. So just learn both. It's life. The struggle is real. So a few things we shall be. So what I'd basically be doing with this is just putting out like thoughts, random thoughts, and like things that are essential to our time that tunaweza bonga. So vitu important to see happen in our time, society, in our time as Kenyans. This country is just trash. But like, yeah. So I'll just be, hopefully, I think I'll be doing this on Sundays because it's a good way to start the week. But like anytime there are no rules, then do what you want. This is your life, so I'll just do what I want at the end of the day. So, but I hope that I'll be consistent enough to be able to build a community and like just thrive together. So anyway, your intro imekuwa refu. Apologies, but it's life. Such is life. Some of the things that I'll be talking about. So considering that it's a Sunday, to be honest, one of the main reasons I also wanna put this here is because I feel in our time there is a select group of us who really don't go to church and don't do like these mainstream religions like that, and who are really trying to like find an alternative in terms of something that nourishes us spiritually but still intellectually. So I think that's one of the main reasons like I have pushed myself to do this, because I mean nobody likes talking to themselves facing a wall at night. But I mean, it's good when you can envision why you're doing something. So, that at this point it makes sense. So, over like the last 1 year, like 6 months, I've been thinking about this, and I've always like, of course, we talk about things with my friends, but I've always said like these are things we should really like talk about as people. So, and a lot happens. So, in terms of even starting or from like where to talk, it's really quite something, because again at the end of the day I'm not what, I'm not like a news guy. I'm just a guy who wants to think, if that makes sense, who wants to like be helped to think and be helped to in this pursuit of truth. So this is the whole point essentially, because like if we cannot discuss about them, like this is the bare minimum of like being human, being able to communicate. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons. So as much as I'll be talking, you be yabbering, I'm not gonna be just talking and like discussing with myself before I get other guests, and inshallah, things align. I'd also like, of course, want you guys to participate, which I'll hopefully find a way how. Hopefully I shall also be doing some of these things like on these trash social media platforms, because such is life, so we just have to. Yeah, but that way at least will make sure like I can be able to interact with you people and whoever shall be listening to this. I can also interact with myself, because this is good. So I've always felt like, ever since, I don't know, it's not the time to, my journey, guys like saying, my journey, where I'm from, it's really been tough. But no, as in, I just wanted to mention in terms of like where I'm coming from, because I was I went to Kwanzaa school for this guy called hey, I don't know now. Hey, how are these things? How is the government with regard to these things? Uh, I went to this school called Kabarak. Yeah, I won't delve deeper into this. Then I went to this other messed up school called Strathmore, which was just fine, character building, so I don't mind. Then I went to do law. Then shit, terrain. Kafla bimvu, fumba kufumbua. I at some point, not at some point, in 2017 or 18, I dropped out. I didn't drop out. I transferred from Strathmore to JKUAT. I stayed for like a year. Then I was like, hey, this is it's not for me anymore. I was sorry if I. So after 1 year, I was like, I think it's time. I just start doing other stuff. And before that, of course, like for 2 years, I was involved in music to some extent. So we were part of like a group at the beginning called now Kizazi, the same Kizazi that I am part and parcel of. And so I was already into music. It's just that it was very hard to multitask. And in fact, I think that's like what I'll start on. Like, because I remember this empress. She was my teacher once upon a time. She's called Immaculate. So I was looking at their live yesterday, and they were talking about this thing of like how most artists at some point have to like sacrifice their art to do other things. And yeah, they built on that, and like the challenge of multitasking and how it's a struggle to like be able to do other things and the pressures of life and, all those things. And it just got me thinking because at the end of the day, yeah, it's very hard. Of course, we can look historically. Our parents and our grandparents were taught or indoctrinated to really think of education as the key. Literally, education is the key. Yes, but like keys are becoming obsolete. Like, so it's not like yeah, education is the key, but like it's not knowledge is power. I prefer that. Education is the key is fish. You're a fish, especially if you don't know who's educating you and why you're being educated. So, but anyway, back to the point. Our parents were really taught that education is the key, and made sense to them because again, once they finished uni, for most of them, they're A levels, O levels, and everyone was number one. Of course, they did what? They were jobs. Like I've had like talking to my grandfather, yani babu yangu. I've had he was telling me stories like, when you're finished, you get jobs plus incentive like the house, a car, or a loan for a car. Like it made sense. Things were popping, and I mean, the white people had just left, so there was space. There was room for improvement. So anyway, fast forward to our time, 20 what? Tulimaliza shule when 2012, yeah. So for most guys who like finished in 20, yeah, of course, not even 2012, earlier, from 2022 or something, even like it's not really been that easy. By the time these things are happening, the water changed, the scope of things had changed. So jobs are not like just easily accessible like that as they were supposed to be. And the reality is, and that's and then the reality again is that you had to at a level of like connections, let me say like that. It's not in Kenya, you just don't get things because of working hard, but we're trying to change that. Like I'm sure there are people who work hard for sure for what they earn, but like it's not easy. Like sometimes there's a lot of moral implications when you're just doing stuff. I'm sure even like when our parents were looking for high schools, like it wasn't just as straightforward as, yeah, my results, yeah, good, this is a good child. Like Kenya is just like the level of self-interest and wanting to benefit and thrive from anything it's a problem. It's a problem. Kenyans, hey, it's tricky. But anyway, the main point was like going back to this thing of like multitasking and having to like choose and the story of artists. So you find that for most artists, and I think all of us are artists in a way, because as I was talking to my friend, I won't say his name, you'll see him. We were just saying like, as long as you can create, you're an artist. That doesn't mean you have to sing a song or like write a verse or like paint. As long as you have the power to create, to manifest something that wasn't there, then technically you are an artist. So being an artist is innate. It's natural. It's like it's natural to you. It's not something like you have to go and learn. There are some things that we are all naturally born with that are by default supposed to add value. Even if it's minus, it's for, if you look at it in the bigger picture, it's not only good things can happen. So we also need bad people, in this world. So that balance, essentially, that's what I'm trying to say. So the most difficult part for me about the art and the picking a struggle thing, as I say, was actually that, because for the whole, and I used to love law. Like law was okay not until, but I was just a bit in awe or flabbergasted when we were getting like to second year, third year, and it just started to hit me, like, because the reality is when you were in Strat, like, yeah, our lecturers didn't really like us. We were those kinds of guys of like, yo, I mean, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'm right, I'm right. And, we were not so like apologetic with our approach, because, I mean, again, you're paying like millions. So, I mean, we were not ready to suck up, per se, to like any lecture. And again, I'm not saying that we were like disrespectful. We were just not very, I don't know. Yeah, we're just not those guys. We're not like overly excited and in love with our teachers. Though they were like really high profile teachers, if you think like. And I think that was the big issue with Strat, because most students, in as much as they wanted to say their piece and what they thought was right to do, or if they wanted to decide, they'd think about it and be like, yo, this is PLO, these are big guys, these are my potential employers. Or even maybe like getting a recommendation from this guy is gonna, do me good. So I always felt like there was that complex for most guys, because for us, we're not petty, because we were just like, I mean, if we are doing law, then as in, of course, then we should be able to be like relying on interpretation of the law, and like the law that's even used in school, like for its intended purpose. So like most times we wouldn't really drink water. Never talk like this. So most times we wouldn't really chachisha. We would be more of like, we just don't think, like, based on how we discuss things, based on the school's policies, that you have a right to do this. So it's Strat was like what? It was like a family school. Like there was so much in-house bullshit. Like, sorry for to curse. Is that cursing? Doesn't matter, guys. So many guys watch porn. Like, cursing is a small. Let me not say that, but yeah, I'll put a sign, rated 18 plus. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so we were like, yeah, you guys are just not following the procedure, and that's we're just highlighting. So, and then just petty things, like lecturers there were so emotional, like, oh, you're late for my class. I'm like, yo, I paid fees. So you just gotta do what you gotta do, fam. Me, I gotta enter, you gotta teach. Everyone gotta get paid. We were those types of, we were like, yo, Jackie. And that's what I was telling my friend, like, if what? I forgot. Oh no, I remember. If it should be uni classes should be like you pay on attendance, then you'd see the attitude change, because most times they already have your money. When someone already has your money, they get arrogant, But if you're paying for classes like the movies, and clearly COVID has shown us that education is an essential. So I mean, it's life. It's there. The facts are there. But anyway, so just because of those things, then when we went abroad, we really went to Amsterdam. You see, it's not our fault. Why did they should have chosen Russia. We chose Amsterdam, which was fun. it was fun. We didn't do anything wrong. Everything we did was legal. Yeah? Yeah. We came back, they were like on our case, they gave us hearings without success, without evidence, in fact, malicious hearings. And at this point, that's when I was just starting to realize, like, damn, this law thing, kumbe, is it's a scam. It's a scam, because yani, we were being persecuted essentially, and we haven't even started. You know, there's a difference between like being what? Being a bad person. Like you can be a bad person. Like you can be a bad, but we're not bad people. We were just stubborn in a sense. Let me say like that. Where in the sense of, yeah, it was just hard for us to like really conform and comb your hair and like, and you see, the more like you put like a potential rebel in such a situation, you just they embrace it more, you know. So at some point we were so used to like being castigated, we accepted, like we knew like it's okay. But the good thing is people knew not to like look. A lot of lecturers knew like, hey, these guys, just leave them. But yeah, by the time we entering third year, then oh my god, fuck that drill, man. I don't curse a lot, but like that drill, hey, traumatized me. It really trauma. Hey, and the worst thing is being traumatized by something that's fake. Like it's the worst. If you're those serious internet guys, I should have an interview for NTV where I was like, but yeah, that was like the worst. I think at that point is when I properly fell out of love with Strath, because I was like, bruh, as in you guys, terrorist drill. And the condolences to like all those guys who died or like got injured, because that thing was messed up. I don't know how. I don't know what somebody must have. Okay. The views of Wanyama do not represent the views. But yeah, I'm sure like it went down, so it was so low key and smoothly done. Hey, this Catholics, you gotta put some respect. You gotta put, because that drill thing went chini ya maji like. Sure, guys were given their money. They're told, "Where finger on the maji kwa mdomo." Yeah. So, but at that point, I was like, proper done. And of course, then Strat was also hard. I'm not lie, but it was like good. My time was, and then of course during this time is the whole time I'm starting to read about like African history, about Marcus Garvey. So like it was a really like a collision, because I was heading somewhere. I was like, yo. And so even in class, we were so, lecturers didn't like us. Like we used to doubt the basics of the syllabus. We were like, yo, why are you teaching this? And this itself is a tool of oppression, you know. And it was just like, yo, clearly I was in too deep. And at that point, like in terms of mentality, I was more against the system. So it was very hard to like proactively just learn, because to be honest, it takes some form of being in a deep sleep, like a coma. Like you have to be properly well conditioned for. That's why before they pick you in Strath, they go to the best schools where you've been beaten, properly branded, you know, so that they don't have to do a lot of work. They're scouting you. They're like, these are the best indoctrinated students. We'll offer them scholarships, and then we build from there. So it was crazy. It was crazy. That's what I'm saying. And by the time I was going, funny enough, I went to probably fourth year. If I know somebody would say, like, you should have just finished, you just live your life. So, yeah, so by the time I was getting to fourth year, and then, oh my God, French was another reason I just quit Strath, because, Kwanzaa, you can't learn French after when you really start unlearning and discovering your worth as an African. You cannot unlearn those. I can only learn them to like infiltrate them, now that I think about it. But you see, now the motivations are different. That time was to have respect. Anyway, so fast forward, I talked to my friends about it. It was crazy, but I just had to I started feeling like it's getting to me now. And it's starting to mess with my psyche, because I wasn't comfortable where I was, and I was just like, I need a change, because I know myself. I know like I'm meant for greatness, and the moment you start feeling that vibe, you should just, and you feel like you're not in control, you should just step off. Like sometimes you don't need to fight, you need to pick your battle. So I was just like, hey, let me Of course, my mom was very supportive. Not very supportive, but she was understanding. Let me say it like that. My dad was like, you can become a mokorino, do what you want. I have done my part. You know that. Then, women, you need to understand, like, anytime we are called trash, like, you need to understand, like, above us, sometimes there is, like, there are good dads out there, but, like, for most of us, above us, it's just oxygen. Like, the only thing our dads taught us was probably to drive, to change a tire, and to check for water bill. I'm trying to think of stuff I say because nothing else, man. So yeah, man. I'm not saying we are still trash, but like cut us some slack. But we are not trash really. I'm just saying like yeah, we know we are not perfect, but cut us a bit of slack and some of us are trying. Yeah. So, but anyway. So I moved to JKUAT. This is when I moved I mean not say my location, not the government, but they are searching me anyway. But yeah, moved to the wrong guys. Rongai, I moved to Rongai because of JKUAT. JKUAT was easy. JKUAT was like the easiest school. Those classmates were dope. Man. They also walikuwa wametulia, no pressure. The class there was just compared to Strat is like, oh my god. Hey, JKUAT was easy anyway. And after like 2 semesters is when it actually just hit me like, bro, you're just pretending. Like you're just doing this for the sake. And so at this point is when I really started to think like, yo, my guy, what up? Are we doing this law thing? Because clearly also like multitasking was really getting to me. Like doing events, at Alchemist, then Cjui doing what, going to school, you selling a job. I was like, so like it was, and again, there was something, this Empress I told you at the beginning about said, oh fuck, why have I forgotten? But yeah, for her, she said something about like there are two very different mistresses or something. And that's the same thing. Like the thing with like the things you do in system, like at work, and the things that you do artistically, they have two very, very, very tofauti, different, like very, very different energies. So it's very hard to explain, but yeah, I'm sure most artists have experienced that. Like, you can try multitasking, but it won't work because these two things do not move in the same way. It's like analog and digital. Like, they do not move in the same way. So, as in, it's like trying to mix alcohol and okay, that one can be mixed alcohol and water. Like trying to mix water and what paraffin, modern paraffin. Like they don't like it's just impossible. And I tried for like 2 years. Like and another thing, even if it looks like it works, or you manage to manifest the illusion of them working together. I always say the problem is you could have been great at one of them, but now end up becoming average at both because you are afraid to choose. Because the reality is, and of course, man is not meant for one purpose, but like the path is one, and maybe as you go, it extends. But like, so I just thought like it's this. I was just at some point I was like, nah, because I mean, at JKUAT things are good classes, you get your grades, but I just wasn't happy, man. I wasn't happy. It wasn't pleasing me to write in the case of Cjui what, and like I'd fallen so much out of touch with that side of life of finishing law school to be a good lawyer, open a law. Like I was like this. There've been so many lawyers in this world, and the world is still crap. So at that point, I was just like, mm-mm. And again, slavery was legal, if you think about it. So I mean, so this law really, in fact, it has been almost an oppressor more than a what? Oh, opposite of an oppressor is what? A freer. I don't know. You can send me that. But yeah, so I just, when was this? This was like, I don't know, 2018 or something. I just went to like and talked. Okay, because that time by then, but then the only thing me and my yeah, by 2018 I just talked to my mom. Let me just say I just talked to my mom, and I was like, yo, it's tricky, man. Like I don't see myself doing this anymore. It's getting to me, and to me, to be honest, my peace was what was important. I'd rather say I failed, but I'm at peace than succeed and I'm stressed. Like that wasn't an option for me. I wanted to be happy first. And so just that's what drove me, because it wasn't easy, to be honest. It was like, in fact, the hardest thing, because I'm just mostly in terms of context of the system and like life, I'm not used, just as most of us. Okay, maybe I don't know, but like I wasn't used to failing. So like primary was good. Always used to like making your parents happy. Let me call it even that, not even failing. So to get this to this point where I am fundamentally like changing the direction of my life was really traumatic, man. Let me just say, guys just think, it's easy. It's easy. It's not easy. So it was really hard. And for like not like I wallowed in depression. I no, I didn't even get like depressed or anything, but I was it was hard. And most of the hard part was not even after telling my man, but like accepting it also on your level, that like that part of life is done, and now I have to manifest out of thin air what I think I should be doing in this life. But I remember telling, was it Gash or something? I'm trying to remember who I told. But what I was saying essentially is, what I noticed over the years is, with regards to your purpose, it's not really, you can't really find your purpose, as I said, as I told Gash and some other people. You can't really find your purpose, but you have to like create circumstances for it to be able to manifest, or like create the environment, or the environment, the optimum. The optimum environment for it to what? For it to thrive. Yeah. For it to, yeah. So yeah, and that's the thing I noticed. And again, with the thing with like and of course I have to accept, like, being able to like quit also is like a privilege, because again, some people come from like backgrounds where it's not just, you can't just quit like that. Like there are so many people banking on you, blah blah blah, society, blah blah blah, and it's hard to like for sure like quit, or like quit such a commitment. So again, I do not, I I feel privileged in that sense, where I'm able to like turn. So I have quit school now. And in 2018, 2017, I started producing, but 2018, I properly start producing in Rongai. I buy like equipment, I get like a loan, get into the studio, FL studio. I produce. To be honest, for that year, I disappeared. I was just waking up, doing the same thing, repeat. So, of course, I do that like for 1 year, releasing a few singles. My first one was called Nataka Kubang. Kubang is like Kubh. ENG or ANG. ENG. You can check it out on YouTube. And all my other songs that I shall mention. So I did what? Forgot. Oh my god, I released these songs. Then when is it? When are we? 2020. Last year I released any music. I released a few singles, got into like Spotify. I just continued as I was continuing to practice. That's what I was doing. So for like 1 whole year I wasn't in school. I was just making music. Then now I was 29. Of course I'm doing like Kizazi events, but like that's a story for another day. So I continue. Then 20, of course, we do Kilifi New Year with Kizazi again. So 2019 wasn't a bad year in terms of like trying to see what I'm doing, but I was just guessing. Let me just tell you. But we give thanks. So 2020 comes, and by 2020, I'm really getting good at this production thing, which I give thanks again. And by 2020, I release like, continue this COVID. I didn't even know this. Whether me, I give thanks for COVID. Like, this virus has really shaken up people everywhere. I know people have died and everything. But as I was telling someone, here's my phone, I Google. But if I'm not wrong, the number of COVID deaths are still less than the cancer deaths in the world. So the real pandemic is our media and how it creates a culture of fear when dealing with people. Oh, where is my Wi-Fi? Oh, Safaricom, you're starting to become scammers. Let me tell you, Safaricom, the first year you were good, but now, but we always know, scammer gang. I'm joking. Can you get sued for jokes? Confirm that. Yeah, okay. Right. But yeah, I'm sure I checked. I checked for Kenya at least. Kenya, like the deaths for cancer are still much more than the deaths for COVID. And yeah, it's just the media. The media is really overhyped this COVID-19 manenos. And I just think, like, it's so this year, like, COVID for me has really come through because, if, and that's what I think I said, if you're doing something that you love and that matters to you, like, at heart, like, COVID wouldn't stop you from continuing that. My God. That's my phone. Sorry. What is the airplane mode? Yeah, I can't find it. Let me switch it off. Yeah, sorry. What was I saying? Yeah. Yeah, COVID, yeah. So, and that's, yeah, something about your purpose. Yeah, and that's just what I think, like, and again, you have to think of the human psychology. And I have not studied psychology. I'm just saying big words because I went to university. Like the way this quote unquote pandemic has impacted people, considering, like, in terms of its actual impact, it's not as adverse as it's put out there to be. And then again, people, it's bad. It's not like people haven't died. People have died, but like compared with things that are daily pandemics, like, yeah, like cancer and those, like, serious, like yeah, what's this? Like the diabetes, obesity. Like there's some also real pornography, crack. That's called digital crack. Yeah, so like they are like really genuine pandemics that mash up the world more than what COVID does. You know, Netflix, it's a pandemic. But yeah, so like it's just shocking how people have become, because you have to realize, like, the government works on two things. It's either that moral authority where you as a people, blah blah blah, what the constitution says, give your power, blah blah blah, sovereign, blah blah blah, or the other one is fear, man. And you have to realize, fear, man, fear is a strong what it's a strong way to it's a strong convincer, for lack of better English. And so, like, the fact that, and that's what I was telling someone today, somewhere, like, in the absence of the news, the whole stigma over COVID wouldn't be there. Because COVID has mainly spread through the media, as I always say, so, and that's the reality. And I'm not saying COVID is not there, but, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can just see the power of the media and the power of information as a result of, like, this pandemic, whereby, and then now if you add plus the George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter, not, it's just crazy, man. And in fact, maybe we can just talk about that as what time is it? I mean, even check as our what? As our we can talk about this as our first topic for the podcast. Welcome back. Let me drink what? So this is gonna be the first topic, and it's something I've been really thinking about. Like, people have this strong obsession in our time to just think reposting or joining a hashtag is doing shit. And I just want to level it, guys. Like, and this is something I told Gashu, another friend of mine. I told him, like, in our time, most of you're like, let me say, middle class going up. Like, you should use your privilege wisely before you become like part of a hashtag yourself, or like the main contents of a hashtag. So in the sense that most times you're like enemies, let me see the ones I can get from the top of my head. I remember something about Sudan. People put their flags, Cjui as what? Ask yourself, that flag, what value did it add? People will say awareness, okay, and then you see, because even with HIV, you create awareness, but you have ARVs, bruv. So what are your ARVs? Yes, you've created awareness, 3 heart claps. Okay. And then, what was the other one? There was, okay, of course, there's the George Floyd Black Lives Matter, which, to be honest, I think Black Lives Matter is just a scam. Because at the end of the day, for me, that already is even a line of weakness, to be honest. Because if you have to assert that your lives matter to someone, the fuck are you even doing in that conversation? Like, you should just step off, to be honest, and create your own. Clearly, if you have to assert that means you also don't think your lives matter. And that's because I feel like that's what everyone starts. I just feel like I'm sorry. Yeah, but I feel like with this whole Black Lives Matter thing is like there's a Africans in the diaspora have a huge reliance on validation from the white people. And it's mad. It's mad, man. It's mad, fam. It's mad. It's a madness. Because, let's think about it like as minimalistic as possible. If you're in a battle or if you're in a war or whatever, and people start fighting, yeah? And you find yourself in the middle of the enemy. And the enemy is whooping your ass. What do you do? And I know it's bad to like, but they always say live to fight another day, And that's one thing, like, I've not seen a sense of proper mobilization by Africans or like those guys in the diaspora. And I say this in the sense that, and that's why it's very hard, Kenyans. This is why it's very hard to like revolt. You see, ideally, we are all somehow dependent or attached to a system we are all unhappy with. And you see, to be able to separate yourself from this system will take a lot of sacrifice. And that's something most of us are not ready to do. By saying attached, I mean like most of the things. So even think about think about the food you eat, the alcohol you drink, the 90% of everything you do, apart from mboga za kienyeji and like just maybe food if you're normal. You find that most of us really depend on the system. So be it the like processed food, be it the hospitals, be it the what. So like by the time, and that's the thing, and I think it's another very selfish thing we have as Africans or whatever is you will not do anything until that problem directly affects you. And that's where you do the hashtag thing and you think you've done enough. You are not doing anything. Just stop it by the. Has anyone called you from those countries saying, man, without that repost, sorry to be mean, but like that's for real. Like even this thing. Oh my God, I saw this thing and condolences. I saw there was a biker who was hit on Thika Road this past week. That road is messed up, man. Who is what's the word? MP, MC, I don't even know. But like, that road is messed up. That road, and then there are friends of mine, kidogo kufe hapo go. Those are those things that are chucking from the road. I forgot. And those things are messing up driver. So I saw this guy passed. Condolences again. But what again I saw, there was a petition. And I want to ask, like, if you know one petition that has gone anywhere, just email me and sometimes social media works in terms of creating enough pressure for blah 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 companies or people to do what. But like in terms of real justice, like proper justice, like for this case, like, and most of these petitions are from change.org, if I'm not wrong. Change.org is even like, do they have, okay, even if you're a lawyer, you can say, do they have any impact? Because I know you can do like a petition to parliament, but that's what I never see. Kenyans are just doing petitions online and sending links on WhatsApp. You can never help someone like that. Like, guys, that's called lazy whatever. And the thing I was reading somewhere, it's gonna make me sound smart. It's called what's it called? I've even forgotten. Oh, there was about flex. The bystander something. Bystander syndrome. I don't even know. Mentality. Let's put it. But basically, these guys were talking about how, I saw it from some other empress on YouTube, and she was talking about how as humans we well, especially when we're in a group, we develop this notion where if we're in a group and something bad is happening, most times you end up not doing something as an individual because you think or assume someone else is dealing with it, or like someone is already calling for her, as in just someone is dealing with it. And I think that's like the biggest thing social media has done to the revolution. It has really washed it away in the sense that you actually think you're posting is doing something and you're hoping that there's somebody really doing something, because you know you're not doing nothing. You're just posting. You're just giving Safaricom profits. That's what you're doing. So in that regard, I think like there's a very, very huge disconnect. And I think I always say like in 10 years or 5 years, I'm sure social media will somehow be regulated, because the way it's set up, it's very addictive and very controlling, and also like it actually shapes your behavior depending on what you're watching also. So like if you're really not self-aware, you just end up in that loop where you keep on complaining, oh, this one died, oh, and rap culture, oh, did you see? You're just a spectator. Stop it. Like, stop it. You need to either shut up or do something proactively. If you're not doing something just shut up, because I've seen so many people post angry, do something about, because and that's one thing my big bro says, Mikel. Like, protesting is not a Friday thing, or oh they did this, or we placards. Like, if you're against injustice, your whole life is a protest. Anything you do, because you cannot be enabling the system or the patriarchy and those things and then expecting, like, it doesn't work like that. Like, your whole life, your whole energy, all your spirits, your mind, your body, your soul should be pushing towards that. That's what I think. So I just think, like, as Kenyans, we should really what? Like, we should first just stop. And then I'm not a Twitter person. I'm an Instagram person. And to be honest, because of just music and stuff. But also, cool people. But like, you should just be serious. And I've just noticed, like, Kenyans are just good at just talking trash. But when it comes to like really doing the work, really putting, even like online, you can really be gassed. Kana kwamba uende pale kwenye ground wapata kuwa vitu tofauti, yani wapata. So once I've seen these Kenyans, please guys, we need to end these Kenyans who post Cjui under comments, Cjui Wapi, like Cjui za Nani, just rubbish. Like, these people need to be banished. They need to be found and exposed. Cause yani, what's your life? Cjui Wapi, like za Nani, Cjui. I'm like, you are brav. Bruv, did you like the video? Simple. Yes, no. It's as in we waste so much time talking about rubbish. And again, it's understandable because most of us are in the loop, like this is all we have to talk about because most of us really haven't searched outside the depths of our reality. We're just there, existing and looking for the next rush. What will excite your body? What will excite your mind? That's what you're really looking for. So yeah, in that line, I just think like, yeah, Kenyans, man, like there are active ways you can use social media to like properly organize and mobilize and do something about it. Don't just be a hashtag person, don't be a reposter. Like it's the most useless job, and that's another thing. Like it's so crazy that nowadays it's so easy to like essentially quote unquote be successful, because of just social media. And that's the sad thing. Like nowadays you just need what? Okay, maybe in the case of a guy, you need like money or like to talk shit. If not, if you're a mama, what you need? Oh, you need lighting. And us. And then us, probably, yeah? And what else? Let me think. And then mama, what do you need? I do. Probably that. Lighting, an iPhone. An iPhone might look good for it. Yeah, but it's crazy. Like, to be honest, sometimes I scroll on IG and I'm like, yo, this girl is just being paid for having. This girl is just famous for her buttocks. She's pretending she's doing gym work there, but brag. 90% of her viewers are not looking at that gym work. They're just looking at the gluteus maximus. And these girls know themselves, and it's crazy. It's crazy that most of like our women, there's this false standard of beauty that has been placed on them that does not exist, And they always say, like, the thing these makeup companies have done is, like, they've, not them maybe by directly, but, like, what has happened is they have broken down your self-esteem. Like, you're beautiful, but you've watched the movies, you've watched Netflix, you've seen Kim Kardashian, you've seen all these people you look at with perfect booties and and perfect faces and perfect skin tones, tanning, rubbish, all that rubbish. And then you're like, yo, clearly I must have issues. I'm not like her. And it's like you're not realizing this is all a show. Like that's the whole point. And so like and I didn't mind makeup. Like makeup is okay. First, the makeup for movies is fine. Those makeup artists, we applaud them. This makeup for self-esteem makeup, this is the one I'm talking about. And please, there's the girl who says, oh, it makes me feel nice. Rubbish. And the perfect example is this, like, for a guy, like, it makes me feel nice having 40K in my pocket, yeah? Right. Doesn't mean, of course, who doesn't? Okay, maybe that's even kidogo money for a second. But, like, that doesn't mean I can just go get a random loan somewhere just so that I feel nice. And maybe not the best example, but like it essentially what I'm trying to say is you can't do something just cause it makes you feel nice, and more so if it's unnatural. And I say this in the sense like, yeah, many things can make you feel nice. Money, coke, coke makes you feel nice. Nobody does just coke. Okay, that's how few people do coke, but not everyone does coke, you see. And when they are told it's wrong, they accept. They're not like, it makes me feel nice. Rubbish. And so if you think of makeup has like a deep seated dichotomy. In the sense of like, if you research how they make the makeup, it's from serious oppression, like where they get these minerals for makeup. Like most of those communities really go through a lot. If you research. Secondly, if you think of the health risks, it's really messed up. Probably 99% of them, even I'm sure Fenty, everything is just fucked because these guys use funny names because of the law. They just write E55, Cjui, B, what color monoxide. Poof, you're just like, it's just E55 carbon monoxide. You just use it on your face, but you're just applying a lot of synthetic. So health-wise, it's really messed up. Then third one is what? Like the whole aesthetic of self-esteem. Like if you think about it, like let's be logical. If in the morning you do not feel confident enough to leave the house without the makeup, it's already a problem. Because it means every evening when you come back and you remove it, you feel inadequate. Because you know very well you have to put it back on. And another point, like, men, okay, I don't know which guys, of course, in the field, like for those guys who go to clubs, those are different. I'm talking about people who look for legit women out here, not women for women in clubs. When you go out, like for guys, I don't know about guys, but like I'm speaking for myself. Like your makeup is okay, but that's not like that's the second to the last thing a guy looks at when what? Can just hear dogs. When men are dogs. when we go out here, that was the last thing you'd look at. In fact, for me, to be honest, like, yeah, having a sexy body is good, but like having a sexy mind, that's what we want. Not this. Because the reality is, if you're spending time with someone, the most you'd be doing is talking. Even sex, you can't have that much, more than talking. So if somebody is not intellectually stimulating, you can only do so much. Yeah, so that's another thing. Like, I don't think for guys, like, it's really a priority. No guy, even the one is equal trash. Hakuna mwenye anapiga story mahali anasema, hey man, ude man nilikuwa mbeshte hake jo, kacheki lakini unajua man, ubeshte hake alikuwa na makeup kali jo kuliko ubeshte. Hakuna boy wangia hivyo, like, hakuna boy wangia hivyo. So like, in reality, I just feel like, and to be honest, what made me sad is when, putting makeup is fine. Okay, I get some women feel like really, you have acne or something. I mean, to be honest, I don't care. Like, if you have good self-esteem, you would not care how you look outside. That's the reality. You would not care. And you don't need money to have, you need to build it. You need to believe in yourself and build it yourself. That's why it's called self-esteem. But yeah, so I just think like we should, as women, like you should just think about it, because I was saying the saddest part was when the hot women are considered hot, or like the beautiful ones, the ones I know to be beautiful, when they also started messing their faces up. I was really disappointed, because I'm like, damn, you already had perfect eyebrows. Your lips were fine. Your face was fine. Your skin tone was perfect. What are you doing? Is the peer pressure got into you? Like, what are you doing? Your face was perfect. Like, stop doing this. Stop it. Please, madams. Mama, acha tu. And so, yeah, that was very disappointing, because it essentially means the pressure got to them. And that's why I also say, like, with this thing of makeup, 95% is a woman thing, whereby it's women on women giving each other pressure. Because, again, that's the thing. No man has ever, maybe there are a few, I don't know, can't speak for everyone, but like, it's never been like a man's thing. Unless, if a man is insisting you wear makeup as a trash man, leave him. He's trying to edit your face. He's not satisfied with what God did. Shame on him. Yeah, so with regards to that, yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, like, it's just crazy. By the time beautiful women are feeling inadequate, that just shows you how deep this thing is. Because if beautiful women are feeling like that, what about the ugly woman? Okay, if they consider themselves ugly, what about it? Like, so it's really, and then this kuna kitu siele, this thing of your face is bright white, your neck is dark brown. Like, bruv, if you're doing makeup, do for your whole body. Buy that spray paint thing for Pimp My Ride. What's that thing for spraying cars? Just spray your whole body, because, man, that's another thing that I think is like, yo, okay, if you're doing makeup, like, and don't do makeup, to be honest, like, you're all beautiful, especially black women. The other ones I'm not sure, but okay, all women are beautiful, especially black women. Let me say it like that. But like, yeah, so don't do that to yourself. Like, don't have a white face and a brown neck. Why are you looking like, what looks like that? Yeah. No, not a rubber. You see, even there's nothing that looks like that. It's very unnatural. You're looking probably like those pencils for Nataraj. Okay, but those ones even Oh yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. These things are so toxic. And by the time you're applying makeup, and you can't Cjui hug people, you can't sweat, you can't like just why you make yourself uncomfortable like that? Why? And as I was saying, why? Who are you? Who you think you have the audacity to edit what God made in His own image? Who are you? That is blasphemy. If you're a Christian, shame on you. And I said, makeup is fine. As in, you can put masquerade on your eyes. You can put some bit of whatever. Girls used to put a bit. Nowadays, they do face. It's not makeup. It's called face painting. That one they should be doing it even in like Nairobi show. Because that's just face painting, if you're being honest. Because it's not right. It's not right. So, Yani, I know, the number one rule is never advise women. But like, yeah. Like, from a guy's side, it's not that deep, man. Like, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Like, we love you the way you are. And if they don't, then you're with the wrong people. Because, like, people love you for who you are, not for how you look. It affects, but not for how you look. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's what we'll discuss. That's what we can talk about in this first episode. I'm saying I'm already past 1 hour, but it's been real. If it's possible, let's connect. I don't know where I'll upload this, but if there is a place with like comments, I don't know, I'll attach somewhere where we can like share topics. Hopefully, I'll be doing it outside. It's just that I'd committed to starting today, and I'm glad I did. Though it was not hard, but like I was sleepy and I had a long day. But I'm glad I started. I give thanks. I give thanks for all the guys who've given me support. Support is important. And so, yeah, I just want us to have like open conversations and have fun with them. Like easy exam. I mean, if I offend you, good. Like this world is becoming too fragile anyway. So, like, let's offend each other. Let's grow. It's a good mood. Yeah, but I give thanks. May you all stay safe. As you start your week, can I advise you? I can't advise you. If you have an 85, sorry, that's life. But if you know what you're doing, it's not a problem. It's just a phase. If you're self-employed, yeah, you're the boss. So like, you're the watch, you're the everything. So don't sleep on yourself. If you're unemployed, don't worry. At least you're not dead. Oh yeah. Yeah, and yeah, don't repost. When you see something, if you can't do something about it, just shut up. That's all I can advise. Just don't just if you cannot actively help that person, do not repost. You're not helping. You're just behaving like a sheep. Yeah. But yeah, you all have a beautiful week. Yeah. And we're hopefully gonna upload this again and again and again. And for all those who've listened till the end, I am grateful. And yeah, I wish if I had a secret I'd have told you at the end of it. But yeah, I don't. Next time. But stay blessed.